an 1872 English children's novel called A Dog of Flanders that is apparently highly popular. Yeah. Idly ho, neighbor. Just saw that you froze to death there. Hello and welcome to the ultimate Street Fighter and Zelda podcast. No, that's not true. This is the ultimate Pokemon anime rewatch podcast to Kill A Delibird, where we rewatch old Pokemon anime episodes, discuss them, compare them to classic literature, throw some jokes and gags and skits in there along the way. One of us prefers other kinds of media than just Pokemon. That's myself, Graham. And my co-host is the Pokemaniac Pokemon expert who has lived and breathed Pokemon since he was 3 years old and found Pokemon Red. Kellan, how's it going, Kellan?
I am annoyed.
Okay.
It's been a day of minor inconveniences.
You know what? Maybe we're connected because I've had an off day too. I've been very sluggish and tired all day, and I don't know why. It's been very rainy here though, which is good. We need rain, here. But it does something to your mood.
I love rain.
Well, yeah,
I wish it was rainy.
West Coast people are being like, "What? It rained one day." Like one day. That's what you're talking about.
No, I do a little seasonal work when the football season starts, and I had to start that today, which involved sitting around for like 2 hours waiting for someone to look at something of ours for 3 seconds and saying, "Okay, yeah, that's good." But I had to wait around for 2 hours doing that.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, man, when I get out of here, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna get some ingredients. I'm gonna make a pepperoni pizza. I just feel like a really simple pepperoni pizza, and I feel like making it myself instead of just popping one in the oven. So I went to the store. Traffic was horrible because it was like rush hour. Mm-hmm. And I get my ingredients. I get the dough mix. I wasn't going to make the dough from scratch completely. I get the dough mix. I get the sauce. I get pepperonis. And I ring it up. I get it home. I'm going to pull into my back alley to where I go to park behind my place. And I realize, forgot the cheese.
What?
Yeah, so I had to go all the way back to the store to get the cheese. Literally walked in, grabbed the cheese from the aisle across from the door, self-checkout, cheese is mine, get out, go home. Finally, I'm home, make the pizza. It was decent. It wasn't half bad. And
That's
then
good.
Watch these episodes, which the second episode also really bothered me because of one little thing that we'll get to later.
Wow. It really was a day of minor inconveniences. Though forgetting the cheese,
Tell me about it.
That's the kind of minor inconvenience that everyone can relate to. That's just like the cheese.
That shit is so annoying. Like, I get home and I realize I forgot the one thing I needed.
Oh, yeah. I will often go to the store originally with one thing. I need this one important thing. So I go to the store, but on the way, I'm brainstorming other things I could get, and then I end up getting everything except for the one thing that I thought I was going to get.
You would think we would learn to use an actual shopping list, but...
Oh, I do make lists sometimes when I'm really ahead of myself, but for all of you who are listening to this podcast while you are grocery shopping, think really hard. There's one thing you're forgetting.
Is it bread? Is it eggs?
Is
milk?
It milk? Is it
butter?
Kimchi?
It's probably something
hummus?
really, really
Is it crackers? Is it paper
easy
towel?
and normal.
Is it cat litter?
Toilet paper. You don't want to forget that one.
Is it avocado?
Apples.
Is it cheese?
Is it corn? Corn is in season now.
Corn is something you could forget.
No, fuck off. What are you talking about?
This is now the podcast where we just list things that can be bought at a grocery store. Canned oysters.
Asparagus.
Broccoli.
Spaghetti sauce.
Pineapple. How many listeners are we losing right now?
You can really hear my train of thought because I am saying the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
After 3 seconds of nothing in my head, I'm just thinking what's in the store? What's in the store? What's in the store? There's a million things in the store, and all my brain can come up with is pudding.
Hey man, that's fine. That is fine. I haven't bought pudding in a long time.
I got a couple packets because they were on sale for
I got a couple
79
snack
cents.
Packs. Nice.
No, the packets that you make.
Oh, that you make.
The gelatin stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. They were 79 cents. So I was like, well, fuck it, why not?
making pizzas, making pudding.
Hell yeah, we're living the dream.
Man. No, I'm
We're
just
living
kidding.
the dream over here.
Okay, so this week we have 2 episodes, right? You said one of them annoyed you. We will learn about that. They're more of this journey through the filler that we've been doing, so they're fun and wacky, but kind of dumb, but that's okay.
Journey to the center of the filler.
Journey to the center of the filler. Fill me up. Time to go. So the first episode, though, before we get into it, is about, it's called Holy Matrimony. So it's no spoiler to say that that wedding is at the center of it, right? Marriage. It's
marriage,
an episode about marriage.
Love and the lack thereof.
I ran a study. It's been a while since I've ran a study. Remember these?
Fantastic.
Yes,
I love these studies.
Fantastic. I ran a study about the best podcasts to play at a wedding. Okay? This is the wedding's going. You're going to play a podcast at the wedding. It turns out our podcast is actually the best. You just play it there. Yeah, you can dance to it. You can give emotional speeches to it. You can drink to it. Anything.
You could definitely dance to our intro-outro song. That thing's a fucking bop.
Oh, that is a banger. But I think you can dance to even our spoken word. We have a poetic flow to everything that really just makes you boogie.
Yeah. I see. I see that.
So, we're number one.
I have to work a wedding on Saturday. Maybe I'll
just
plug
play,
in the podcast.
Just play one of our episodes. Yeah. Be like, I edited this early. Here is a brand new sneak peek. You're the first listeners. Everyone goes wild. It's like the Beatles. Oh my God.
And the crowd goes home.
Yeah, they're out of there. Everyone's calling Uber. Okay, so, we're number one. I found some others, okay? These are the best podcasts to play at a wedding. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, the first one up here, we've got King Henry VIII's Tips on a Healthy Marriage. Tips on Marriage by King Henry VIII. I'm glad you laughed because when I was running these by my wife earlier, she said that, Kellan won't know who King Henry VIII is.
He had like 6 wives, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like killing them and stuff.
Didn't he create a religion to divorce?
Yeah. I think there's probably more nuance to it, but that's kind of the gist that I remember right now, too. Yeah.
Take that, Graham's wife. I know who Henry VIII is.
Also, one of his wives, he got the marriage annulled because he said that she was too ugly and he couldn't perform. Well, he had impotence in his 40s, and the Pope let him make her his royal advisor instead of killing her. King Henry VIII's marriage is bizarre. Yeah, that's wild stuff. Okay, number 2 to play at the wedding, preferably while the guests are coming in. Get down with prenups. This is some good advice on well, not good advice. I don't know. We're moving on.
Good advice if you're real rich.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos. I don't know. Here we go. Zimbabwe fiance with Beyonce. Say that 10 times.
That was stupid.
I take that as a compliment. I love stupid things. All right. Speaking of stupid, here's the next podcast. The onion ring bearer. Uses for fast food in weddings. Onion ring bearer. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're smart.
I do.
You're smart. That's why you got it. Okay. Next one. In business and in wealth. Pro tips when marrying for money only. In business and in wealth. And finally, final podcast. You may now diss the bride. Turn your wedding into a rap battle.
I thought you were going to say a roast, but a rap battle's good too.
Yeah, roast too. I think I've definitely brought up roasts in other podcast studies. So you may diss the bride, turn your wedding into a rap battle. Vows, who needs them? Just rap against each other.
That I would pay to see. Rap battle vows? That's great.
My name is Graham, and I'm here to say, are you going to marry me on my wedding day? Yo.
See, you know that Graham doesn't know how to rap because he started with "My name is blank and I'm here to say."
Yeah, that's
and
like
nobody fucking uses that.
That's like the boomer. Like I'm gonna
that's the boomer rap.
That's like the white boomer imitating what a rapper sounds like.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, but since I was aware of that, doesn't my self-awareness protect me?
Oh, it's ironic. It's
and
okay
turns it
then,
ironic, so I've actually, there's layers, man. But now the fact that I'm pointing it out is also a defense.
Ooh, it's more layers.
Oh, too many layers.
So many layers.
It's hot in all these layers. You want to get into the episodes?
I would love to.
Okay, so that's our bit on podcast. It's been a while since we've done one of those lists. And, feedback, what kind of openings are you liking? Are any of these landing or any of these not? Send us a message at tokill@delibird@gmail.com or list something in the comments. We're really, or on YouTube, we're really interested in hearing your feedback too, because we've done some big variations of these too. And we can go in all kinds of directions.
Yeah, shout out to the new recent viewer who's been binging through the podcast on YouTube and leaving comments and stuff. They said that they missed the podcast name bit, so there you go. There's one for you.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you, new listener.
All right, let's get into these episodes.
Right. So, Holy Matrimony.
Holy Matrimony.
And I'm having a hard time keeping up with the episode numbers now since they're
50.
Looped around. Okay, episode 50. Holy
We're on
Matrimony.
episode 50.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of those because the number's going to get into like the thousands at some point. So we gotta keep going with that. I can't wait for a couple months from now when we hit episode 69.
Nice. Episode 420.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Since we're in Canada, would you do the podcast high on episode 420?
I'm completely sober. Don't you know that?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. What if I do?
Well, not really sober. I just don't drink. I don't do those things. I never have. But you can. I mean, sure.
What if we interview someone who smokes a lot of weed on episode 420?
Look at one of my friends. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll get one of my friends on and get them just absolutely fucking stoned out of their mind.
And they can just laugh.
Yeah.
The really high people just laugh.
All right, for the third time, let's get into this episode.
Holy Matrimony.
So the gang now we see has the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas the narrator calls it the egg-cellent new companion.
Whoa.
Whoa. So the egg, though, okay. So spoilers, it hatches in a few episodes, right? I was kind of looking ahead. In my memory, though, as a kid, they had this egg for like a year. Mm-hmm. How did that happen?
Well, it's also because, you're watching one episode a week.
A week, yeah.
As a kid when it's airing. But yeah, no, it's and time just feels a lot longer when you're a child.
That's true. Yeah,
like I look at the
week
calendar.
Is significant back then.
I look at the calendar. We're almost fucking halfway done this year. Like I don't understand that.
That's
whatever.
Brutal. Yeah.
So they're walking down this path and they come across a missing person's poster of a child that looks suspiciously like James.
Yeah, it looks exactly like a young James in fancy clothing, much fancier than we usually see him.
So an old butler pulls up in a limo and asks them about this person.
Yeah,
and
like a stretch Humvee kind of limo. Yeah. It's over the top.
And the gang says they might know him if this is James from Team Rocket. And upon hearing that, the butler kidnaps them.
Yep, to the estate, pushes them in the limo, and off they go.
And then Team Rocket comes across the poster as well. James is very kind of hesitant about all of this. I wonder why that could be.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesse and Meowth seem very interested in what this is all about.
Yeah, and they say like, well, this kid looks like James, and James says he looks pathetic, and they're like, well, it checks out then.
That's what I said. I said what I said.
Roasted.
So the gang approaches a giant mansion in this limo, and they get out, and they're like, oh my god, this thing is huge. This is the biggest mansion I've ever seen. And the butler's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the doghouse. That's the mansion. And it pans over, and there's a mansion that's like 10 times as big. It's
like the size of a mountain.
It's massive.
So big. Because even the doghouse, they're saying it's bigger than a shopping mall. It's got like 100 rooms. Boom. I'm starting to feel like there's a lot of rich people in Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Like every second episode is about the insanely wealthy.
Yeah, and we hate them all. I wonder what that's an allegory for.
I really want to learn more about Kanto, period. Their government structure, how taxes work, how they're funding the Poke Centers. There's so much interesting stuff here.
I think some of the politicians are being bribed.
Oh, I think this goes straight to the top. And I think Team Rocket is part of it.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, Giovanni's a gym leader.
Yeah.
So...
Giovanni, the head of Team Rocket, is a gym leader.
Yeah.
Okay, James, the insanely wealthy, we find out, gets into Team Rocket allegedly fairly quickly, possibly. I think this is all connected. It goes straight to the top, man.
So Team Rocket is spying from the bushes behind the gang. Jesse and Matt, again, are very excited about this prospect because James is apparently fucking rich now. So they're very happy about it. James is not here for it whatsoever. The gang's been taken inside, and they see 2 coffins.
2 big coffins, middle of this mansion.
And now I am the son of a funeral director, and so I know the difference between a casket and a coffin.
Oh,
a lot of people will refer to either or as a coffin. That is not the case.
Okay.
A coffin does not have a hinged lid.
Oh.
These are, in fact, coffins, as they are hexagonal?
Yeah.
I want to say the shape is, but a casket is rectangular with a hinged lid. A coffin is hexagonal with a loose or an unhinged lid.
Right. A coffin.
Fun facts.
A coffin is the vampire.
The vampire one.
Right, the Castlevania one.
And a casket is the fancy ones.
Yeah, like the
cushions
medieval kind of looking thing, like in a crypt. Wow, very interesting. Yes. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Team Rocket is up in the rafters listening in like Tom Sawyer on his own funeral.
Yeah, and the butler tells the gang that James's parents died this morning, and the estate is now his. They say the parents didn't have the strength to go on after James ran away. But didn't he run away as a child? Like that... What?
Like, not a lot of stories are straight here.
The timeline is very confusing.
James still doesn't seem to know what's going on, even. He's not acknowledging that he is the person, even at this point. And we find out that there's a condition. So he gets the whole estate if he marries his betrothed. So there's a fiance, we haven't met her yet. We also see a picture at this point of the family, the parents, allegedly, of young James. And doesn't the mother kind of look like Jessie? She's got like big red hair.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
Yeah, I mean, the dad doesn't. He looks like Thomas Wayne. So basically, every comic book depiction of a rich dad, like mustache and swarthy.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck. They all look like Tom Selleck.
You missed an important clause in the agreement in which James gets this estate. Not only does he have to marry his fiancée, he has to do so within 24 hours, or the estate will be donated to charity.
Not charity.
Not charity.
They're the villains of capitalism.
What a mess. What a disaster. So the gang decides that they're gonna try and find Team Rocket. They're gonna try and find James, who coincidentally fall off the ceiling at that moment. And James is completely conflicted about the situation. He fakes having amnesia and everything. He barely remembers anything, he claims. He remembers flunking out of Pokemon Tech and joining a bike gang, which are episodes we've seen that backstory before. So good job, continuity. Pokemon.
Yeah,
did it.
Those were great nods. That was the first time that Team Rocket's rambling backstory had some continuity.
Especially after the Jesse ones made no fucking sense.
That's what I was going to say. I think so far James's backstory is actually a little bit more coherent than Jesse's, which is just fever dream nonsense. But yeah, dropping out of Pokemon Tech, there was an episode about that apparently he used to go to this institute for young rich kids. And the other joining a bicycle gang. That's the one about the long bicycle bridge.
With the bicycle gang, yeah.
Yeah.
And he remembers one other thing. He remembers a young boy in his Growlithe trudging through the cold, having not eaten in days. And the boy collapses, accepts death with angels flying above him. And he is found frozen the next day, dead. And everyone is crying except Misty, who sees right through this because that couldn't have been James. Because James is alive.
They all start bawling. Brock's like, I can't believe James is gone. Ash is like, I'll miss him. Even James is crying. He's like, it's so sad. Misty's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's right there.
He can't be dead. He's alive. We see him every day.
This flashback of James is hilarious too, because it's clearly like it evokes sort of like an Oliver Twist or who's the oh my god, it's been too long of a day. What's that author? A Christmas Carol.
Dickens?
Dickens. It's like a Dickens or an Oliver Twist kind of feel. Bulbapedia, though, has the literary reference, which I did not know. So they're saying that it's based on an 1872 English children's novel called A Dog of Flanders that is apparently highly popular. Yeah. Idly ho, neighbor. Just saw that you froze to death there. Apparently, it's highly popular in Japan. I've never heard of it, but it's a classic in Japan. Yeah, and apparently it has that plot. It ends with the protagonist, a young homeless child, freezing to death with his dog on Christmas Eve.
And that is so sad.
Very depressing.
That is very depressing.
Old books always depressing.
So, anytime James is confronted about having amnesia, where they're like, wait, I thought you had amnesia, he goes into this whole routine of, oh, I'm so confused. What is happening? Ah! Even though he knows exactly what's going on. But
yeah, he's so messed up.
So Jesse wants to fake a wedding so that James gets his inheritance and I'll run away. James doesn't want any of this. He is still like totally... him. Yeah. Which, like, interesting character moment because James has always been motivated by money. So why is it that this time, when money speaks, James won't listen? We'll find out.
We do see this is character development. I think that's a good call out because in the past we see these characters as fairly flat, and this is a nice dimension to their motives that we get into here.
Yeah, well, we'll get more into that later. There is, I think I can sum it up in one sentence, but I'll hold on to that until the end of the episode.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's not that complicated.
Yeah, shut up. I'm smart.
For Pokemon, it is.
I'm smart.
Yeah, I said you were smart earlier. You got my joke.
So the gang vouches for James to make his own choices. Good job, Ash and the gang. Seeing James as human. Jesse and Meowth do this whole fucking routine where they dress up in these dark costumes. They call them like invisible costumes, and they like puppet James, and they cover his mouth so he can't talk, and they puppet James. Going around, like, Meowth's working his legs, Jesse is imitating his voice. I'm going to do literary hour a little early here. I'm going to take it on myself. Weekend at Bernie's.
You're right, they did Weekend at Bernie, James.
Except he didn't die.
Tied up his mouth, yeah, and they're just like moving him like a puppet. And the great part is, though, that they insist that these black costumes make them invisible and that no one can tell. Okay? Yeah. They're adamant on this.
But it seems to work.
It seems to be working, at least to the butler.
Yeah,
to the butler.
The butler takes James into the house, and then we get the reveal. James's parents give up the trick. They faked their death to get their son to come back to the house. They are, in fact, alive.
This was hardcore.
Yeah. Well, Jesse and Meow thought they were ghosts at first.
Right. Well, because they jump out and they do the prepare for trouble.
Yeah, interestingly enough.
Yeah, Meowth wonders if they're ghosts. And James, though, is like, they're alive. They're pulling a stunt to get me home. Amnesia left pretty quickly there.
Oh, I'm so confused. You can't see it, but I'm like wailing my arms in the air to get that right voice going. But
yeah, you gotta wail your arms like those used car sales inflatable things. Yeah, wacky waving inflatable arm
flailing tube man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Hopkins is the butler. We learn his name is Hopkins.
Yeah, but that's got to be Anthony Hopkins, who stars in Remains of the Day. I think Remains of the Day it would have been out by then. The movie, right? I'm pretty sure I've brought that book up before, and it's about a old school British butler fading of the British aristocracy and his
Aristocracy.
Yeah, whatever. It's been a long day. Aristocracy. His master of the house is a Nazi sympathizer, but he.
Oh yeah, I think you've talked about this.
Yeah, I have talked about that, and that's also like the twist of the movie. So I did. Okay, but it's
Spoilers.
old. It's old. The old Yeller dies. Darth
Spoilers.
Vader, Luke's dad.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that Snape kills Dumbledore,
or that what's another one? Snape doesn't kill Dumbledore.
Oh yeah.
The shark lives at the end of Jaws.
Babe stays in the city. I've never seen that movie. I don't fucking know. Babe 2, Pig in the City.
Babe 2, Bacon in the City. Okay, so in the movie adaptation, though, of Remains of the Day, I looked it up. It is from 1993. So the localizers could have ran with this. Anthony Hopkins is the lead in that movie. And I would say that to a translator, that could be the de facto depiction of a British butler. So I think that's where Hopkins might be from.
So Hopkins, the butler, and the parents take James off to prepare for the wedding, and Jesse and Meowth, but they still think they don't see him. He is supposed to continue the family tradition, and they even have the perfect girl for her. And we get this really slow reveal of this girl's face. She has this bright red hair, and she's slowly lowering the fan in front of her face. We get the reveal. This chick looks just like Jessie.
She looks exactly like Jessie.
They even like make it painfully. They make it very obvious to the audience because they swap the hair for Jessie's hair for a few seconds, and they're like, hey, this is Jessie. It's Jessie. It's Jessie.
Yeah, they're like, I know you can't always tell because anime faces kind of all look the same, but this is actually supposed to look the same.
Yeah.
Except she's got like this southern voice.
But this isn't lost on everyone. Everyone freaks the fuck out. And it's actually really great because it's more of a freak out than normal.
You know, there's quite a bit of back and forth in this scene already about sort of James's conflict here. The parents talk about the duty to the family. James calls it the duty to be manipulated. We have this hilarious sentence I wrote down in case sweet sentences gets pulled. A man who can't settle down is like a bumblebee without a nose. He'll never sniff the daffodils of life. That's James's dad. That is
beautiful.
Some Chat GPT pizza in Paris nonsense.
Poetry.
I was like, what?
So Jessie and Meowth.
Yeah.
Her name is Jezebel. And Jessie and Meowth continue this whole invisibility charade, and it seems to be fooling everybody. The gang doesn't understand how this is fooling anybody, but it seems to be fooling everybody else. Jezebel suggests that they go down to the vault and they count all of the money James will inherit. Sounds like a great time.
Yes, so fun.
So they go down to the vault. She opens the vault, and inside we see James's inheritance, a shitty home gym.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. It's just like weird old gym equipment. It's like all of the crap that people bought, like you know, in January when they're like, I really got to get fit, you know, and they buy some like Bowflex thing and shove it in the basement.
It's one of the joke prizes on Let's Make a Deal when they open the wrong door.
It's a shitty home gym.
They get zonked. So Jezebel has tricked them into coming into the vault. We learn Jezebel saw Jessie and Meowth the whole time. And Meowth seems genuinely shocked by this.
This is such a good twist of a non-twist because like we always knew that everyone could see them, but then you kind of suspend your disbelief for a bit, where they're like Jessie and Meowth think it's working, and the family seems to be grifted by it. So okay, but like no, the twisties become the twisters.
The real twist is that. No, they knew about this the whole time. They saw it coming.
But they don't know that we know that they know we know.
We know. They go into some kind of taming ritual where Jezebel has a whip and she's trying to tame James or something, and she wants him to like submit to her.
Yeah,
entirely.
It's hard to not draw the BDSM feel here.
I actually didn't.
I know a person does. Are you kidding me? Like, she's aggressive. She has a wimp. She's like, I'm Mummy Dommy. Like, bend over, little James. I'm going to teach you a lesson.
No, I just took her as like very controlling.
Oh, controlling. She has a rule fetish. She's like, come on, James. Yeah, and she's suddenly in like a riding, like a what's the equestrian outfit. She's suddenly in an equestrian outfit with this whip, a Simon Belmont whip.
The parents ignored Jessie and Meowth until this point. They tricked them as well. We get that reveal. But Jessie and Meowth smoke bomb out of there.
Pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
You know, Jessie's got a funny line in here, too. She goes, everything was fine until you opened that big meow of yours.
Got him. So Jezebel tries to catch James by actually whipping him. Like,
oh, yeah.
And whips, I imagine, hurt like a motherfucker.
I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were, like, baiting a response there. No, I have not been whipped either.
Shoot. Doesn't need to be a BDSM thing. Maybe it's an Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah, at the annual Indiana Jones role playing convention I go to.
IndieCon.
Yeah. IndieCon would be like the kind of thing you're like, oh man, this sweet like indie music or indie gaming convention rolls into town. Let's all go to IndieCon. You get there and just everybody's dressed like Indiana Jones. And you're like, what?
So the gang debates whether or not they should stop this because Jezebel's trying to whip James, but Brock says that he doesn't like to get involved in these kinds of family squabbles.
Yeah,
that was a great line.
Brock is this weird, neutral good kind of character at times.
So Jezebel has a vile plume she sends out. It's the first time I believe seeing
this would be
Vileplume.
the new Pokemon for the episode, I guess.
Yes,
right? Vileplume.
Remember,
so
Gloom?
We saw a Gloom, in the Erica episode, right?
This is what Gloom evolves into Vileplume. It is this little blue guy, this cute little blue guy with a giant flower on his head. It's
kind of a bigger Gloom, but it's less dopey.
Yeah,
like it's like a Gloom that kind of like woke up a bit more.
It's a Gloom that bloomed, really.
Yeah, right. The Pokedex says it has the largest petals in the world. I was like, not that big.
They're pretty fucking big.
I guess for petals, they're pretty big. Mm-hmm. Maybe I have no conception of how big petals can get.
Yeah, so she has a Vileplume, which she's going to use.
Wait, hold on. Venusaur's petals. Don't they look bigger?
Fucking, now I gotta go look up their heights. God damn it, Graham. What are you doing to me?
Venusaur, big dinosaur thing with petals on its back.
All right, Venusaur. I gotta open this in Photoshop. I gotta compare now.
Those are some big petals. Am I right?
They are, but yeah, you're throwing me
I
off
like
into
big petals, and I cannot lie.
To a whole new side tangent. Okay, so Venusaur is 6'7". Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, because that would be like it's a quadruped, so that would be like the height of its back. Wow.
Yeah, and Vileplume is 3'11".
It's tiny.
Okay, Venusaur is much bigger petals. I don't need to even pull this in Photoshop.
We did the math. We crunched the numbers.
Kind of. Because, Vileplume is just over half of Venusaur's height. And
welcome back to the Big Petal Podcast, where we determine who has the biggest petal.
I think according to Pokedex height, Venusaur has the biggest petals.
Wow. Then they lied here.
Well, we got to find out now. Does the Pokedex in the game say anything about how big Vileplume's petals are?
Oh, could have been a show
The larger its petals, the more toxin pollen it contains. Its big head is heavy and hard to hold up.
That's all it says?
Nothing about,
no
gold and silver. Gold and silver, or just gold specifically. It has the world's largest petals.
That could have been a show edition.
Maybe. Well, the difference is, I think, Venusaur's petals are very thin,
Yeah.
Like, they're very leafy. Mm-hmm. Vileplumes are very thick. They're thick.
Oh, this is like a metric thing. This is like, what metric are you choosing?
I mean, Vileplumes, I think, would be heavier. Would be a lot heavier. They're more dense, you know?
Yeah, they do look more dense, but that feel okay. So we've got a good old pedal off. Size doesn't matter. Who's got the bigger pedals? Am I right?
Size doesn't matter. It's about how you use your pedals.
Oh, dude, there's this South Park episode, and I don't watch South Park that often, but where one of the dads is like super passionate about how you discuss penis sizes should not just be by length, but he has a whole formula. It's about girth times pitch divided by yaw.
Pitch?
Pitch and yaw, they're angles. That's what this reminded me of. Let's get all the pedal math out. Comparing pedals. So you take the thickness of the Vileplume's pedal and divide it by the overall area, and then times it by the coefficient for pedal comparisons.
Add in the girth and the length.
What the hell's pedal girth?
You tell me. I don't know.
Well, that's the largest pedal podcast.
Yeah,
that was pedals.
That was too long of a tangent.
Pedal patties. Pedals all the way.
Oh, where am I in my notes? I'm totally lost now.
Okay, so she just brought out
the
Vileplume. Yeah. We were just talking about Vileplume before we got all pedaled crazy.
Yeah, so she uses Vileplume to stun Spore James and keep him from escaping. It also hits it also gets the gang. But James notes that this is just like last time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeesh is right. Yeah, that means there's a history of Jezebel stun sporing James.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So they have Hopkins dispose of the dead bodies now.
Yeah, to sweep away the trash.
He drives them out to a desert in New Mexico, digs a hole and under a meth lab, and they throw him in. There you go.
That is what they say, is that if you want to hide a body, just make it simple. Just go somewhere where there's a lot of open space. It doesn't get searched often.
Yeah, fun Pokemon fact. Pokemon is actually the prequel to Breaking Bad. So.
Yeah, we already knew that. I believe that we found some drug dealers in the Eevee episode, which had Walter White energy.
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Oh man, moonstones? They're minerals, Murray.
Oh. Forgot about that
Giovanni is the Chicken King.
So they're back outside near the doghouse mansion, and Growly inside is banging on the door. Growly is the little Growlithe, and everyone's pulling on the door until Growlithe charges through. He breaks through the door. The good music comes on. Growlithe goes to rescue James and jumps right in front of him, protecting James from this evil, evil monster, Jezebel.
Yeah.
He grabs James. They jump out the window. They're back in the doghouse. Let's go, Growlithe. Have we ever talked about Growlithe?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah.
We
met Growlithe very briefly on the Ponyta Rapidash episode.
Right.
But it's a dog, but like a fire dog.
He's a little fire puppy.
Very cute, very good Pokemon.
We love Growlithe.
Oh yeah, hard not to like Growlithe.
Growlithe is one of the classic Gen 1s. Everyone loves Growlithe.
And so the Growlies brought them into the doghouse. Literally, this isn't a metaphor. They're back in the mansion-sized doghouse, which is smaller than the real mansion.
And we get the flashback. We get the whole backstory. Jezebel has always wanted to change James ever since they got engaged. And they got engaged at like 8?
Yeah, it's this sort of like family arrangement. And that it happens. It's much less of a thing in Canada, but I'm sure there are cases where the family just sort of sets up this agreement that when you get older, this is the union of the families. There's definitely a history of like this in literature, and again, the aristocracy. Thank you for teaching me how to pronounce things.
I'm the linguist.
It's a rich thing here. So yeah, the idea is that it's an agreement that will be fulfilled later in life.
Mm-hmm.
But the tension, though, has been that Jezebel is a very rigid person and has been really convinced to refine James. She thinks that she needs to teach him how to live, that she has very specific ways and doesn't want to respect his autonomy at all. It's that kind of thing going on. And this flashback is the kind of thing that it's hilariously presented, but is also kind of brutal, right? Because she goes, "Let me teach you how to eat spaghetti right." And then James is running away, and she's like, "You aren't running right." And so this is the theme now, is that James finds himself rejecting these rules of the elite. Like the old world, old school, rule-oriented, rich, posh sort of mentality. This isn't how he wants to live.
Yeah, he noted that he hated how upper-class societies have rules for everything.
Yeah,
and he just wanted to kind of be himself.
Team Rocket's actually pretty punk rock. There was that one episode where they dressed up as punk rockers. I think they got the spirit of punk rock, man.
After or during this flashback, Jezebel busts through the wall to find James. Growlithe flames away the stun spore. Ash has Pikachu hit an electric shock, which isn't a move. It's Thunder Shock, Ash. And he and Pikachu, Growlithe Pikachu, fight off Vileplume, Jezebel. They go running off in like a, oh my god, my ass is burnt kind of thing, where they go running off like a fucking Roadrunner.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever played the Wario Land games on Game Boy, when he gets lit on fire, it's like a transformation where he just like runs in one direction unless he hits something. It definitely looked like that. And she runs through the parents who are feeding Magikarps in their luxurious pond, and they flip into the pond.
Yeah. So James is going to leave Growly behind to look after his parents, and
yeah, so that was basically the resolution. Like, I mean, this was the climax. Was Jezebel running and pushing them in the pond. That was like it.
She got her ass burnt, and then that was about it. Now, before, I believe when she burst through the wall, it sent Jessie and Meowth flying. So they've been out of the scene for a while. We go back to them, and they think that James stayed behind too, because he hasn't caught up to them. They think he stayed. He's going to marry Jezebel and ditch them. They're going to have to go back off on their own. But he comes back to them in the balloon. He couldn't get his inheritance, but at least he has his freedom. And this is actually like a super touching moment because it really humanizes James, I think.
No, it is nice to... It kind of puts a spin, a bit of a slant on it. It works off of what you said earlier, that before we saw them as strictly motivated by money. But you know what? There are other ways to make money, and we have talked about before how it looks like they are, somewhat being controlled by the gang, the Team Rocket gang. Like, they are probably indebted to Team Rocket in a lot of ways. And I'm guessing that when James left the family, pursued freedom, the gang was where he fell in, where he found people with sort of similar viewpoints. Yeah, and we can kind of see what led him down this path now.
When I said I could sum it up in one sentence, I think it's the one thing that James values over money is his own freedom.
Yeah.
And that's
I think that's
basically what this whole episode was getting at.
Yeah, totally.
Money means a lot, but if he's going to be stuck and not be able to live his life the way he wants,
and not be able to blast off at the end of every episode.
They're addicted.
Come on, Jesse, let's start blasting.
Speaking of, this is I believe the first episode where Team Rocket doesn't blast off in any capacity.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Well, Jessie and Meowth go flying off, and when she busts through the wall, but they don't even say the words.
And
it's not all of them.
They don't do their intro either, though.
No, we got the prepare for trouble from the parents.
So I think it's kind of like opening and closing brackets. You know what I mean? Like parentheses. When you open the parentheses. You gotta. That's what I said. You open the parentheses. You gotta close them.
Fuck you.
Parentheses. I thought you were correcting my pronunciation.
No.
I was like, I'll just ramble. Parentheses. Wow, that was brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Kellan. It's like if they open it, they have to close it, right? So if they do the chant, they need to blast off in the episode. If they don't do the chant, they don't need to blast off. They don't understand that there's a weird sort of cosmic causality here, that if they don't do the chant, they don't get hurt at the end of the episode.
It's all predetermined.
It's predetermined from the moment they do the chant. They are setting themselves up for a futility.
So meanwhile, the gang is running away from Jezebel, who wants them to help her find James. Ash notes that he'll find them eventually. James usually finds us. And that's the episode.
Pokemon has this way of like actually setting up quite a bit and then resolving it all really quickly.
That's just kids shows in general.
That's kids shows. Yeah, you're right. That's kids shows. That's like 20-minute sitcoms too, you know? It's like they need to wrap it up. They got to hit that runtime. I guess like with streaming now, getting a little bit more used to variable length shows, you know? But that's a relatively new phenomenon.
Long form television, yeah.
Yeah. So, literary hour. Gonna jump through this one pretty quickly just for time.
Yeah.
And that we talked actually about quite a few themes and references in this episode already. But it really, the key theme, there's this whole thing about the parents deciding the marriage being about what they see as the family, and that really violating the child's autonomy and desire for freedom. So there's lots of older literature, a lot of Jane Austen kind of has themes like that. But I'll actually just go with Romeo and Juliet. And this was one, again, that my wife was helping me when we were chatting about this theme. And a detail I forgot is that in it, Juliet was actually betrothed to someone else, to a political ally for the Capulets, right? Juliet Capulet, I think, and Romeo Montague. And then, of course, they're in opposing families. Romeo and Juliet, they fall in love, and it causes a whole lot of tragedy because of the War of the Families. And spoilers, everyone dies. Yeah.
Teenagers.
Yeah. But that sort of familial control, that sort of old school, rich kind of family thing, and violating the autonomy of their children because of the tradition and the long set sort of biases of the family, are all key themes to this episode. Cool.
Nice and quick, nice and breezy.
Sleazy.
Let's four-pour it.
Keep it sleazy. Oh yeah, four-pour.
Yeah,
that's the favorite thing part. Do. So the four-pour, the plastic ping pong pitcher of objective rankings, we're going to pull out 2 randomly selected categories to rank that episode on. What is our first category?
It is anime sweat drops.
Ooh, that's me. I don't know if this was a big one for that, actually.
I don't recall any.
Oh, James has a really good one when they discover the gym equipment, because it's on the back of his head. So it shows the gym shot, and then he's looking in, and the sweat drop goes down the back of his head as he realizes that they've been duped. Which is weird, because they're usually on the front, right?
Is that it, though?
There's another one when everyone is pulling at the door of the doghouse. Ash has one. Meowth has one when they're first doing their invisible costume bit, and Meowth keeps slipping in things to the butler, like, and can you make that out as a check? And then he kind of has a sweat drop where he's a little bit like, he realizes he's overstepping. It looks like those 3 would be the main ones. I thought the James back ahead one is notable. The Meowth ones are funny. The Ash one is forgettable. So I will go a 4.
I was thinking
it's weak-ish for those.
Yeah, I was thinking 5. So
yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, I can settle for 5. I'm fine with that.
No, that's fine. We can round, or we can average. 4.5. Category number 2 will be the repetition.
Okay, so the episode as repetitive being a motif, it breaks the Team Rocket repetition.
It's really a role reversal kind of episode.
It is a role reversal episode.
Like, Jesse and James are in the forefront, and Ash and the gang are spying from the bushes.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Not from the bushes, but you know what I mean.
Ash and the gang are only leading the narrative for like the first couple minutes, and then it's about James. Like, he's the protagonist of the episode. Yeah.
So I think for repetition, it's like, and there's like no full motto. There's no blasting off again.
No. Pikachu doesn't even have the big moments. Growly kind of does. Pikachu, defeats the Vileplume with Growly's help. But I think Growly is the Pikachu of the episode.
Yeah. That's...
it's not repetitive. So
very weak very
2.
weak on the repetition. Yeah, I was thinking 2 as well.
That's an interesting category because it's like the inverse.
So
of
2 and
quality.
4.5. That is 3.25.
It's objective, folks. Can't argue with
For
math.
holy matrimony.
Do you think that our us committing to calling this objective is really a wake-up call for people who take meritocracies and other quantified systems as scientific fact when they may not be validated?
I think it's a bunch of ping pong balls in a juice pitcher and shouldn't be taken so seriously.
Oh, but it's objective.
But it is objective.
It says objective right on the ping pong pitcher.
Yeah. Oh, I should make a label. Oh,
I assumed there was one. I've never actually seen it in real life.
it's
Like
just
it's the holy grail.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to episode 2 today. So near, yet so far-fetched.
Now, this is the one that annoyed you, but just because of one little detail. How'd you like the episode other than that detail?
Otherwise, it's a fine episode.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's filler.
Farfetch'd is charming and delightful. The other
Which is unlike
kind of
Farfetch'd
character
normally.
of the week sort of sucks.
Yeah. I don't think we ever hear his name in the episode.
But it's on Bulbapedia.
Apparently
so
it is
weird. Yes, I didn't catch that either. So I don't think it's in the episode.
I don't think so.
I actually wrote him down in my notes. I called him Senior Dev everywhere because, okay, so peek behind the curtain again. I work in software, like a software developer. And yeah, that's a joke that he could be a senior developer. He's got a ponytail. He's like just wearing a t-shirt.
So the gang is taking a break in a meadow. Ash is looking up Farfetch'd on the decks because apparently there have been rumors that one was spotted nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Should we just describe Farfetch'd now?
Yeah.
It's
they
a
bring
duck.
up the decks right here.
It's a duck.
Yeah. It's a duck with a unibrow.
Yeah. And
But
he holds
it looks charming.
he holds a leek as
He's
well.
like a brown and white mallard. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's his distinction is that he always holds a leek. So this is another one of those Pokemon that, its birth
no
and
sense.
existence are sort of weird. Like, is it born with a leek?
Yes, it is. It hatches out of the egg with a leek.
Is he constantly finding new leeks? Is this a leek that can grow independent of Farfetch'd? Or do people pursue the Farfetch'd not only to eat the Farfetch'd, but to eat the leek? Because this is a unique leek. Unique leak.
And the unique
Say
leak.
that 10 times.
Yeah, that's an interesting unique leak, 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 I lost it.
Congrats, you've won $1 million.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
So the Farfetch'd are apparently nearly extinct because they're so delicious, especially when cooked with the leek.
Yep. Duck soup.
And you can believe it. This is one of the Pokemon that always comes up as the prototypical eaten Pokemon.
Mhm.
You see this thing and you're like, yeah, that'd be all right.
Well, it comes with its own garnish, so
Yeah. Well, it comes with its own aromatic. Like you could,
Yeah.
the leek is part of the soup. Yeah, it just works.
I mean, I can believe duck soup is good. Like you had a duck soup at your wedding, right?
Yes,
And that was like
got
the greatest.
very high reviews.
That
It was
was
very
like
good
the
soup.
greatest fucking meal I've ever had.
Oh, thank you.
It was so
I
good.
didn't make it, but
I know.
I
but
found it. I discovered it.
Oh, you guys
Yeah,
put
it was a
time
heck
into
of a
that, and it was worth
duck
it.
soup.
Ugh. And the pork tenderloin. Oh, I
There
dream
you
about
go. Yeah, me too, actually.
that. Anyway, Farfetch'd.
Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd soup.
So Ash and Brock are gonna go fill up their water canteens. I think Misty was with her. She's exhausted. She doesn't want to go anywhere. She doesn't want to deal with Psyduck either. Psyduck's out.
Psyduck's
Doing
out.
his
He's doing his
Psyduck
Psyduck
thing.
thing. Yeah.
And then Farfetch'd comes marching down the path like a little
Bum,
band
bum,
director
bum,
guy.
Yeah, like a little soldier.
Little soldier. He does a little baton twirl with his leek. It impresses Misty so much she wants to catch it, but it runs off, and she gives chase.
Mm-hmm. She's like, it's the coolest Pokemon ever. I want one.
And you shouldn't, because Farfetch'd fucking sucks.
Oh, in the games, he's not good.
It's so bad.
It's always disappointing. There's, sometimes you think of playing a Pokemon game and you go like, well, I'd love to try some of these Pokemon that don't get used a lot. But then you just hear like, well, they're not good. So.
It's so bad. Like it has no redeemable stats, and it's just a normal flying type. So why wouldn't I use any of the others?
No wonder it got eaten.
It got a bit of a buff in Gen 7, and Galarian Farfetch'd has an evolution. And so, that Farfetch'd is really good, but regular Farfetch'd still.
Wait, what's its evolution called? Near-fetched?
Sir-fetch'd.
Sir-fetch'd. Okay.
Yeah, his leek gets really tall.
Yeah.
And like a sword, and he also has a shield.
So the leek grows.
It's great. I'm just gonna fucking send you a picture of it.
Oh yeah, that's badass.
It's pretty cool.
That's like Farfetch'd and then like Pinky Up Farfetch'd.
Yeah.
Holy, that leek just green onioned out. Damn.
But that Sir-fetch'd is one of the examples I have of one of my problems with regional evolutions, which are evolutions of a Pokemon that are given to a regional variant, but not the original Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So Galarian Farfetch'd can evolve into Sir-fetch'd, which makes it good, but regular Farfetch'd can't. So, it got a regional variant in an evolution, but regular Farfetch'd is still just as shit as it's always been.
Right.
Whatever, I'm not a game designer.
Well, you can't, go back in time.
You can.
Oh, you mean, for
other
remakes and stuff?
No, other Pokemon have gotten cross-generational evolutions.
I'm not following. What does that mean?
Do you know what the concept of a regional variant is? We've been over this.
Yeah. But it's in the one game.
Yeah, because it's based in that region specifically. And the Farfetch'd from Galar can evolve into Sir-fetch'd. Any other Farfetch'd that's not a Galarian Farfetch'd can't evolve into Sir-fetch'd.
Oh, so
it does not have an evolution.
In the Sword and Shield, you can get a Galarian Farfetch'd and you can get a regular Farfetch'd?
I mean, there might be a way, but Galarian Farfetch'd is the primary Farfetch'd in Galar.
Yeah.
So Galarian Farfetch'd has an evolution.
Yeah.
Regular Farfetch'd.
That's the new Farfetch'd, though.
Yeah, but regular Farfetch'd is still here, and he's still shit.
Is he, though? Because you just said he's barely in that game.
Well, yeah, but you can have him in, other games.
Okay, so you'd rather them update the Farfetch'd going forward so that the evolution doesn't stay in that game.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That makes sense. Free Sir-fetch'd. Do not lock him to one game.
Galarian Farfetch'd has value. Regular Farfetch'd doesn't.
Right.
And so at that point, why did they make it Farfetch'd when they could have given Farfetch'd a boost that it desperately needs?
Yeah, right. So the redesign's cool, but it's runs it to that specific game is limited.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
sense. That's a tangent. So Misty is chasing this Farfetch'd. She runs right into this guy that you've been talking about, this Keith kid. He gives her bag back and runs off, and she goes...
That's it.
Yeah.
And then Misty goes back to Ash and Brock.
Yeah, and they are pissed that she tried to catch Farfetch'd.
Are you sneaking behind our backs? And she's like, but it's so cute. It twirls its leek like a baton. And Ash says, you're not lying? And she goes, I'm telling the truth this time. And he goes, this time?
And she goes to put her water bottle back in the bag, and her Pokeballs are not there. It's full of rocks.
It's full of rocks.
It's just rocks. They deduce the bag must have been switched.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
And at this point, though, Misty is still saying that she picked up the wrong backpack, which is, she thinks it's an accident, which is kind of funny because that means that she is under the assumption that this guy had a backpack full of rocks, and they're his
just
rocks.
Like hers.
And she's like, I gotta get this guy his rocks back. He must really be missing his rocks.
So in his tent, Farfetch'd warns this kid of Team Rocket in the distance. They're going to enact a new plan. Farfetch'd starts marching down the path again.
So going back to the kid, though, we get the obvious reveal, that he stole a backpack and Farfetch'd is in on it.
Yeah.
So it's his Farfetch'd, and they're like a con artist. They're stealing.
Yeah, and I believe in the tent we actually see a few other backpacks as well. So we get the.
So he's got to hustle.
Yeah, we get the idea that he's done this multiple times. This is not a one-time thing. He wants to pawn Farfetch'd off on Team Rocket, so he says, and he also has a Staryu and a Starmie. He's tired of raising Pokemon. He's just gonna give these Pokemon to Team Rocket, so they're gonna go down to a boat or something to do this. He's like, oh, I forgot something. I gotta go back and get this thing. You guys wait here with my Pokeballs and my Farfetch'd. I trust you. Watch over these. He runs off. Team Rocket's like,
yeah, they don't stop and go, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
They just straight away, this is easier than taking candy from a baby. And Meowth says, letting Team Rocket guard your Pokemon is like letting your cat guard your canary.
Got him.
Real animals.
Mm-hmm.
Not your Meowth guard your Pidgey.
So yeah, he left a boat near the river where he left them. They take the bag, they take Farfetch'd, they speed off on the boat. But there's a cork in the bottom of the boat, sealing a hole. The cork pops up, the boat sinks, Farfetch'd flies off, Team Rocket go into the water, they drop their Pokeballs, and there is no Pokemon in the bag they have to help, so it's just fucking rocks.
So as they're drowning, allegedly, Arbok and Weezing float away.
And one other. There's a third Pokeball.
Okay, this is so funny. This is. What do you mean we'll get to that? Isn't this right now?
Well, there's another part.
Okay.
There's another part to it.
Okay. Yeah, the backpack that Keith left is full of rocks. He's got a lot of rocks.
Mm-hmm. So Farfetch'd comes swimming down. Farfetch'd comes swimming down the river with his little basket strapped to his back, and he starts fishing out the Pokeballs and put them in the basket. This is cute. I like this.
Yeah, it's like a wicker basket. Very cute.
I like Farfetch'd and its design. It's just so bad.
Yeah, like mechanically bad.
Yeah.
He is a cool looking Pokemon, though. I remember thinking in the games, like, oh, he probably would be good. You know, he's got like sword dance and stuff, but then, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, and you can only get it through an in-game trait, so it's like rare. There's only one of them. It must be good.
It must be good.
But no, it's hot garbage. So the gang reports this kid to Officer Jenny as an accident. And I thought we were going to get... Because Jenny starts describing the incident. Like, so a Farfetch'd came walking down and then your Pokemon got stolen. I thought she was going to gaslight them into thinking it wasn't real.
Because she's done that before.
Exactly. But she's like, that's not an accident. This has happened like 4 other times.
You're the 5th victim of the backpack switching thief this week.
But she can't catch him. He's too slippery. He never stays in one place. She's even got
this sign, beware of Pokemon. It's got a picture of Farfetch'd.
Mm-hmm. So we go back to Keith and the Farfetch'd, and we get a really ham-fisted line of dialogue for backstory here. He's like, oh, Farfetch'd, I found you injured on the side of the road, and then we started stealing, and we can't fight because you're too weak, and I don't know how else we would get on without stealing Pokemon. It's like, that is just the worst fucking line of dialogue I've heard in 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah, he just backs that pickup to the landfill and just does a big old exposition dump.
The writers were like, fuck, we need a backstory here. We need to make this kid
we gotta make him sympathetic.
Yeah. Throw this scene here in the middle. Just fucking do it. Whatever.
He's like, remember when you were injured and I healed you and then we became best friends, but then we started stealing because you're too weak to battle, and apparently battling is the only way that you can have worth in this Kanto world, and so that we couldn't make money, so that's why we steal, so it's kind of sympathetic. Hey, remember?
So while he's sympathizing to himself, Psyduck lets himself out of the ball and is able to sneak off and walk away. Back to Jenny. The gang has taken Jenny to the place where Misty got duped. She lists her Pokemon. She's like, I had Staryu and Starmie and Horsey, and I think there was one more. And then Ash was like, you forgot Psyduck. Like, oh, I wish I could forget Psyduck. Poor Psyduck.
And then Psyduck just stumbles out of the bushes.
Psy-I?
And Misty completely changes her tune.
Yeah, she loves Psyduck now. I'm so happy to
see you. I missed you so much. We're like, okay.
So she tries asking him questions. Where did they go? Which way did he turn? Where did you leave him? Were there other Pokemon? What happened? He's just like,
this bit goes on for a longer than I thought it was going to. She keeps asking questions and he just replies, There's also a very quick interjection from Team Rocket during here. They did survive the drowning. Okay.
Yeah, they went over a waterfall.
What is drowned can never die. And they now they're in their balloon. And they have a good line here we're gonna find that no good rotten crook and show him what good rotten crooks are like.
Yeah, Keith is leaving his current spot when Team Rocket come across him now. And they land their balloon, they're pissed off at him. They try to make a deal, or he tries to make a deal with them. He'll give back Weezing and Arbok and Lickitung.
Yeah, there we go. That's the third ball. Okay, so this is actually interesting because it's another ramification of the Porgyon incident. So would you like to fill in the listeners of what is going on here? Stop revving your motor. It's not a big deal.
No, it is. It's a massive deal.
It's one name.
It's a massive deal.
Why does one name matter?
This episode was originally supposed to air later.
It's a kid's show.
I don't care. I don't care. Well, it's supposed to air. A different episode was supposed to air first, rather. The episode coming in 3 episodes, Princess versus Princess, is supposed to go directly before this episode. But because of the shuffling around they did after the Porgyon incident, it got moved ahead. A few episodes got pushed forward, and we have a continuity error where Jessie has a Lickitung 3 episodes before she's supposed to.
Yeah,
that's
it.
This pisses me off. This pisses me off so hard.
Why are you losing your mind? This is ridiculous.
Because I hate continuity errors. I hate continuity errors so badly. Okay. I am getting so riled up, I think my nose is starting to bleed.
Would you? Oh no! Oh my god! This is a full-on nerd meltdown recorded.
Okay, but part of why I'm annoyed by this is because if I would have known about this like a day earlier, I would have been like, "Fuck, Graham, we gotta watch a different episode. We'll just reorder this thing. It's fine." B, we've said previously we're trying to do this in the original intended airing order, and this kind of fucks that up a little bit. But it's not as huge as if we did Jinx in the original airing date.
I think it's a minor blip because it is just the one line. But it is just, it's interesting that we're still seeing the ramifications of that incident. I think is one of the interesting parts here, right? Like that incident caused like a huge reshuffling, right? And we're like, that was a long time ago we reviewed that, and we're still seeing its impact.
Yeah. And I'm not joking when I tell you, this will be in my head for weeks.
Why? Okay.
Because that's who I am.
This is where I have troubles understanding this viewpoint. Because I know other people, too, who will go to something and then like a movie, and all they're talking about is like, if it's like technically correct, right? If like the story is like technically designed correctly. And I'm with you to an extent. I do think, we especially pay money to consume media, and you want something well crafted. That's fine. But I think of the opposite. Would you like something then that is like just technically well crafted with no soul? I like a little bit of nonsense. I like seeing mistakes. I like jank. Like, just think of this moment. This moment is like that part in a Bethesda game where you realize that your horse can actually climb a mountain by just angling it sideways. This is the jank of it all.
Well, a lot of it is, like, I hate continuity errors. The B side of it is that this is a preventable issue on my end. Like, I could have...
You're internalizing this.
Yeah, I could have...
Your perfectionism.
I could have kept to original scheduled air dates in the podcast if I would have known about this 2 days ago.
It's okay.
But I didn't. I know it's fine.
Is this an egregious sin?
I know
us
it's
out
fine.
In the comments if you hate us.
It's not going to have any ramification on anything whatsoever, but it's still going to annoy me.
Tongue. Someone's going to jail.
It's still going to annoy me. And there's nothing we can do about that.
Well, we had a good philosophical musing about continuity errors.
And me screaming.
Into nosebleed. How do you feel about yourself that this was recorded? You're editing it. You could do a remix of it.
Oh my god.
You could do the Lickitung Meltdown remix. Remix. So.
Where the fuck were we?
The Keith is going to give them back the Pokemon, Arbok and Weezing. And that's it. There's just 2. Moving on.
Yep. No Lickitung whatsoever.
And Team Rocket's like, okay, that's it?
Yeah, really? They're like, you think you can just wipe all this away by giving us back our Pokemon? He's like, okay, well, I'll give you all of these Pokemon too. And he's got a bag full of Pokeballs, all these Pokemon. He's like, I am just so tired of training Pokemon and I'm looking to move and I've got too much to carry. So you just take all these Pokemon. And then Team Rocket's like, hell yeah, dude. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
So back to the gang. Psyduck has led them to the kid. Psyduck did it. Let's go, Psyduck. Claps for Psyduck.
It's like that makes me wonder, like, he actually did remember some things, or did he get lucky? Or was it just like Misty can't understand him? Or like what was going on? I don't know. But he got the job done. Yeah, and Ash is supportive of Psyduck. He goes, "You act like a quack most of the time, but I guess you're pretty smart." Quack? Because he's a duck? You get it? Oh my god.
So they confront him. Jenny announces he is under arrest for Grand Theft Pokemon.
Yes, I love this line. Grand Theft Pokemon. That made me realize another spin-off that we've needed all along. GTP. Grand Theft Pokemon. We need an open world Pokemon crime game that like takes place. Okay, it takes place in the city that the Detective Pikachu movie is in. But
GTA Rhyme City.
Exactly. You can go anywhere and you can steal different Pokemon and like ride them and stuff.
God, that's a good idea.
That'd be fun, right?
That'd be fantastic. They're really pissed at this guy, not only for stealing the Pokemon, but for like the philosophical reason behind it. It's like, we trained so hard to catch these Pokemon and you just took them. We've tried so hard. We've grown.
They morally shame him. They're basically also saying that, you know, he's violating the essence of what it means to be a trainer, because their whole world revolves around this, and he's violating that sanctity, and that they're saying that, Keith, you don't understand what it means to be a trainer.
And so they challenge him to a fight.
Yeah, it's all about battles. So let's battle.
He doesn't want to fight, though. He thinks Farfetch'd is too weak, but Farfetch'd is so into this.
Oh, yeah, because he's been saying this all the time. Farfetch'd is too weak to battle, blah, blah, blah.
Which is true, because Farfetch'd fucking sucks.
Well, this Farfetch'd is like, I can battle a little.
Yeah, I can smack you with a leak.
Speak for yourself. So, the first battle we get, Farfetch'd versus Bulbasaur.
Ash.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
He doesn't know types. He doesn't know type
every time. It's every single
Bulbasaur is grass. Farfetch'd is flying. Flying is an advantage on grass, so this was a poor choice.
And he has a Pikachu, which is an advantage against Farfetch'd. So,
yeah.
Doubly bad choice. So,
but maybe he deep down wants to give Farfetch'd a redemption arc.
Who knows? I think he's just a fucking idiot.
Bulbasaur starts with a tackle. Farfetch'd dodges.
Expertly dodges.
Yeah.
But then he gets vine whipped. And Keith is heartbroken. He's like, Farfetch'd, no! Farfetch'd, stop! This is too far! But Farfetch'd eyes go ablaze. There's fire in his eyes. And
Farfetch'd looks deep inside of itself and realizes that he is the last remaining of his race of Farfetch'd after his planet got destroyed. And he is becoming the creature of legend. He goes super Farfetch'd. Fire in his eyes, uses agility.
Big whoop.
Yeah.
Raises speed, whatever.
Yeah, raises his speed. But agility in the show always looks dope. Right?
That's great.
It's like not much in the games.
They zoom around.
They like crazy. Zoom around. They become Dragon Ball Z characters or like Sonic characters or something. They're like, peace, 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 peace.
It's one of those moves. It's like, if you just see the show, you're like, oh my god, that move's amazing. I'm going to go play Pokemon. I'm going to get a Farfetch'd. I'm going to use agility. And he just kind of shakes around the screen a little bit and his speed goes up. Well, that was a bit of a letdown.
Speed improves. And speed isn't like that important of a stat. Like it is, but it isn't.
Oh, it's important.
Wait, okay, important's the wrong word. It isn't that like if you're a casual player, it doesn't have like it's not bombastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a showy kind of stat.
If you're just a casual player, you're not using those moves that raise stats.
Exactly.
You're just like,
that's what I meant.
Hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's using agility. He takes Bulbasaur out by smacking him with his leek. And
he's using the leek like a sword, like a fencing sword. Pretty cool.
Which is canon. That's in his dex entries and stuff.
Sick.
So, and then Keith is like, wait, hold up. Farfetch'd has moves?
Yeah. This is so funny.
What?
The kid's so busy stealing, he doesn't even realize like what Pokemon can do.
If I would have known Farfetch'd could run fast, I wouldn't be stealing Pokemon. Fucking hell.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes for rehabilitation.
Absolute idiot.
You
might be dumber than Ash.
Well, yeah.
It's a lot. Very, very low bar.
Well, there's this kind of theory in like TV writing where if a character has like a major flaw, but you want to start humanizing them or showing them growth, you introduce characters who have that flaw even worse. So this is like the theory behind the show Frasier. Frasier was a spinoff of Cheers, and the character Frasier is like superficial and academic and uses all these hoity-toity words. So they wrote in Niles, I think it was. It's been a long time since I've seen Frasier. His brother, who is even more lofty and full of himself and that sort of thing, because it humanizes Frasier. I don't know if this is that deep, but it is kind of that, right? You make Ash kind of seem a bit more like he's put together by introducing someone who knows even less about the Pokemon mechanics.
Mm-hmm. So he wants to go for Pikachu now, but Misty steps in, takes it upon herself to fight, as she was the one who had her Pokemon stolen. And she goes for Staryu, but she's like, go Staryu. Oh, wait, I haven't got my Pokeballs back yet. And Psyduck comes out. It's Psyduck's turn, baby. Okay,
and this is hilarious.
This is fantastic. Farfetch'd starts smacking Psyduck over and over again with the leak on his head. Whap,
just
whap,
on the head,
whap.
Yeah.
And
Misty knows what's up. She just starts cheering for Farfetch'd.
Keep going. Keep doing it. And he smacks it so much that Psyduck has awoken his power. And he disables the absolute motherfucking shit out of Farfetch'd.
Sends Farfetch'd flying. He hits Keith, and both of them fly away into a tree.
And then they fall out of the tree.
Psyduck is badass.
So
I love
good.
Psyduck.
Psyduck's like the best character, aside from Pikachu.
I agree, because he's like this goofy comic relief character who then like unleashes these like ultimate powers.
It's Pikachu, Psyduck, and then all the others. I don't fucking care about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The show could just be Pikachu and Psyduck.
The Pikachu and Psyduck buddy cop show. Where they go around solving crimes.
Pikachu, Psyduck, buddy. I'd see that. That'd be good.
Yeah. There's fan art.
Fan art, baby. Let's do it. All right.
It's like Rush Hour with Psyduck and
Meanwhile, Team Rocket is opening up these Pokeballs, and now they're like, yeah, we got all these Pokemon. Let's do it. We got all these Pokemon.
They're embarrassed for ever doubting the kid.
And then they're all Voltorb.
They're all Voltorb.
They're all Voltorb.
And we get some beautiful wordplay here. Jesse goes, that two-timer. Meowth goes, he tricked us 2 times in one episode.
Fourth wall breaking. I love it.
Fourth wall break, yes.
And so they start chucking the Voltorb out of the balloon. It's raining Voltorb. It's raining Voltorb.
Yeah, hallelujah. And they're conveniently over top of the site of the battle, right? Yeah. So not only is Keith defeated from Psyduck, it's raining exploding Voltorbs from the sky. It is mayhem. It's a war zone.
So after the whole thing is finished, he vows to give back the Pokemon. No victims will press charges, which he's fucking lucky about that.
Oh, it's so convenient. It's like convenient wrap up. Jenny says no one's pressing charges because you gave all the Pokemon back. Okay. That's not how life works.
Alternate universe. I said the last episode was the prequel to Breaking Bad. This is a prequel. Better Call Saul.
Okay.
We see later where Keith is a client of Saul Goodman's, and he gets off with no ramifications in a lengthy court case.
Right.
Beautiful.
And then he continues down a path of crooked behavior.
Oh, more fan art. Farfetch'd cooking meth. So everyone's learned an important lesson about honesty, bravery, and trust, all that boring shit. And Team Rocket wants to tell the boss about the whole situation. But Meowth knocks some sense into James. He's like, if we tell him about this, the boss will make the kid part of Team Rocket. And they're going to kick us out of the team. So they're just going to forget about him, not say anything about it. And there's one Voltorb left, and they blow them out of the balloon. And that's the episode.
They blast off. And that is the episode. My theory from last time was totally wrecked. They don't do the chant, but they blast off.
Don't they?
I don't remember a chant, do they?
I don't remember it either. I normally write it down.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they don't.
Oh my God. That theory was good for one episode. I thought it was such a good theory.
All right, literary hour. Can I take a guess?
Yeah.
Ugly Duckling.
How so?
Because Keith thinks Farfetch'd is a piece of shit that can't fight, and turns out Farfetch'd actually can do something. And he judged Farfetch'd by the injury he had, and not by who he's become.
He did judge Farfetch'd by the injury. Okay, yeah, that's good. No, I didn't think of that. I actually was just thinking about the hustle. I was thinking of the hustle of it all. So it reminded me of the beginning of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. The whole thing where he's like painting the fence, but he's like duping kids into doing it for him by smooth talking. But then the other book that is just a book all about cons. Catch Me If You Can. More popular as a movie. Have you ever seen that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks?
God, I saw it when I was like maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
It seems like a movie you'd like. Actually, it's charming and fun.
Isn't it like really long?
I don't remember. For a 5-year-old, yes.
That might be the 5-year-old.
If you watched it now, you'd be like, "That's a regular movie," but it's not like a kids' movie, which are like 75 minutes. You know?
Oh, it's almost 2.5 hours.
Oh, it is long. Okay.
Long.
So this person wrote this semi-autobiographical story about his life, Frank Abagnale Jr., and the book is this story about how when he was young, he was a con artist. And he got into all these professions, how he was a pilot and he was a doctor, and it was all by smooth talking, and how the FBI was chasing him. I believe there's evidence, though, that that not everything he wrote actually happened, and the extent of... So there's kind of layers here, because it's all about cons.
Like that ogre!
But then the book itself is like a con too. But anyways,
should have seen that one coming, honestly.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, what are you learning from this book that should tell you about the writer? So Catch Me If You Can, and that's Keith. Keith is the con artist. I do believe that Keith is on the path to rehabilitation. It happened awfully quickly, and I think he needs like a support network. Not Jenny just being like, "Okay, now you and that duck carrying an onion go off and have fun now."
All right.
The Adventures of Keith and Onion Duck.
All right, is that it? All right, let's move on.
Let's pour this
and get out of here. So first,
pour and die.
First category will be this is a good. Oh, I love this one. The perceived smell of the episode.
Okay, so we're in a meadow.
Now,
we've got the brook.
Now, if Psyduck or if Farfetch'd was cooked, 10. But how does a regular duck
in the
smell?
Episode?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Not that good. The onion probably smells okay. The leek.
Yeah, and meadows.
Yeah, so it's a forest smell. I think that it's a fairly there's a lot of moisture. I think that there's the river. It's going to be I think it's going to be somewhat humid. But yeah, just a forest smell. I do think it would smell good and clean. I think the episode's fairly good at giving us the cues into its smell, too. Just kind of the dust and grass on the ground and that sort of thing. This is a little bit typical for a Pokemon episode, though, so I wouldn't go above 6.
I was thinking 6 as well.
Yeah, I'd go as high as a 7 just for that onion. I love me an onion.
Are you saying 7 or 6?
I'll go 7. You convinced me. Onions.
Okay. I convinced you by saying nothing. I convinced you by being confused about what your rating was.
Like Psyduck.
Yeah. All right, category number 2 is the antagonist likability. So that would be Keith.
Oh, that'd be Keith. Well, I don't like Keith. Do you?
No, not particularly. He's really just... He has a duck, and that's about it.
He's an idiot jerk, so like 3? 2?
I'll say 4.
Okay, I'll go 2.
He's not like completely unbearable.
We've had worse. He's not as bad as like Damien from the Charmander episode.
All right, 3, 6.5, 9.5, 4.75.
Nice.
Or So Near Yet So Farfetch'd. A little bit of a weak set of episodes this week.
Do we have quality of or how much we like the title as a 4.1?
Oh, we could do that.
We could do that, because like I was just thinking that this episode had a dope title. So Near Yet So Farfetch'd. That's
fun. We can. I'll add it right now. Episode title. Cool. If you out there have any additions for the 4.4 you would like to see, let us know. We're always looking for more. I gotta get a fucking bigger picture, though.
Yeah, and you can let us know. You can email us at 2kill@delibird@gmail.com, or you can comment on a YouTube video, which should lead us into our announcement, Kellan. You recently changed the name of the YouTube channel and your other media. Do you want to announce that?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this one for a long time, because I fucking hated... I grew to hate Skittleworkers very quickly, so I've changed it. I was sitting on this one for a little while. You can find me youtube.com/@HydraLeech or twitch.tv/HydraLeech or on TikTok at HydraLeeches because some fuck took HydraLeech.
So that's Hydra, like the Greek mythical monster. Yeah,
and
so
Leech.
HYDRA and Leech, LEECH, like the real live leech that sucks your blood.
Think about
so
that
it's a multi-headed blood sucker.
Think about that concept. That's incredible.
Well, it is.
That is a what's the word?
What, nightmare fuel?
Yeah, but the
multi-headed bloodsucker?
The monster named after like an author or something. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Cthulhu?
like one of those kind of things.
Oh,
Lovecraftian, yeah. A Lovecraftian horror. Anyway, that's it for this week.
It is. So,
home.
Already shouted out where you can contact us. The other place, we've got this podcast, To Kill a Delibird, up on all kinds of audio platforms. So check it out there. Please rate, review us if you can. Would be much appreciated. Set your podcast to auto download if you're on one of the audio platforms. That helps us out too. Intro and outro music is 80 Synthwave by Alexi Action. This was quite the episode. Both of us were tired and it got a little rambly. I think it's kind of funny that it's that brevity crap. When you're tired, the episodes go even longer because stuff is just brain flying. You
want to know what we're doing next week, though?
Oh, see, I forgot. Yeah, what are we doing next week?
It is episode 52. Who gets to keep Togepi? And episode 53, Bulbasaur's Mysterious Garden. 2, I think, fairly important episodes for actual progression and impact on future plot and events.
Filler, more like killer, because that's what these episodes are going to be.
But tune in Monday for that.
Monday. All right.
We will see you then. I'm going to go fix my nose.
Yeah, sorry about that.